have the honor to be sitting with a multi-millionaire, right? Someone who owns almost half of Brooklyn, got Clan Hill before it became what it is today. Invested in so many different things, invested in the stock market, the owner of the Brooklyn Bank, and I know I gave it away with that one right there, but we're happy to have you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jude Bernard. Happy to be here. Shout out to you for creating this platform, and I'm here for all of it. So let's get it popping, y'all.
All right, so with this, we're just gonna have like a straight, genuine conversation, and I want you to really tap into your, let's say, like the 15-year-old self, right? Yeah, like imagine you're talking to your 15-year-old self. You're trying to get your feet wet because a lot of people not millionaires. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people not, don't believe in themselves. A lot of people don't have the courage, right? So talk to that person, right, and help them.
So here's the reality about it, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you a true story about my 15-year-old self. I was I was at this place called Montebello Park in Springfield Gardens, Queens, when I was about 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. And there was an older gentleman there. And I thought he was older at that time because he was like maybe 30 or 35 or something like that. So to me, he was crazy old at that time. And he sat there, like we were just shooting around, and he sat there and gave me the play of how to move in the next 10 years. And if I did everything that he did, everything that he told me to do, I would have been set for the rest of my life. Right. So he told me about credit. He told me about investing. He told me about getting in early. He told me about all of this stuff. Right. And you know what I turned around and did? I did nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, will this dude just shut up and just shoot the ball or pass me the ball or just something? And I was not ready, so it takes a special mind to be ready. And guess what I did? Like when I got a little older and I had I had a younger sister. And I tried to tell her about what to do, how to, the same G that this dude told me when I was younger, right? The same G that he told me, I tried to put it on her, and she wasn't ready either. So it's very rare. Like you're a unicorn, like you're able to see the direction of things before like it's too late. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Like I always say, there are three types of people in the world, right? There are the people who like never learn, right? So no matter what, either they never learn or they only learn from their own mistakes, right? Then you have the other people. Excuse me, I gave it away. There's the people who never learn, so it means they make the same mistake over and over again. There's the people who learn from their mistakes. Those are the average people. So they do something, it didn't work, and now they change and so forth. And then there are the great people, and those are the people that change the world. Are the people who are able to learn and follow from other people's mistakes and leads. Which commendable is what you're doing right now, is that you're bringing in the people to affect change in the next generation, so the next generation actually has a head start. So shout out to that.
Thank you. So I have a question, right? Because this is a debate that I have with a lot of my peers and stuff like that. So do you think that environment plays a major part in people's success, right? Because some people, here's the contrast, right? Some people think like, yeah, environment definitely plays a major part in my success or my failure. However, at the end of the day, it was still my choice.
Definitely. Like there are certain things, like I've been all around the world. Like I've seen the favelas in the favelas in Brazil. I've seen the slums in Kenya. Like I've seen poverty, right? And you cannot tell me all these little kids that are running in packs, like barefoot and naked. Like some of them, you can't tell me that some of them do not have the intellect to change the world. They don't have the intellect to build, or they don't have the talent to create, right? But unfortunately, their environment, they'll never those gifts that they have will never have the opportunity to flourish. Like we are the blessed ones. Like if we are living in the hood, even if we are living in the project, the P's, even if we are living in the P's, you know, we have access to internet. We have access to school. We know how to read. We know how to communicate, and we can definitely make make an impact. So I would go as far as saying that us, you know, people living in the United States, you know, even if you're homeless, you have the opportunity to create greatness. You know,
anybody, and you don't see Jay-Z at all the BET Awards anymore and stuff like that because he values his time, and I think like that's truly important. But how can people get next to someone like you? Like how can people get mentorship from someone like you, right? When they're in the building stages.
Well, they gotta do what you do, and just stay consistent, consistent and add value. You know, like I get so many people that come to me all the time, like, Jude, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? XYZ. And you know, cool, I want to help, but I'm busy. You know, like I love the fact that every time you've approached me, you've always come with, hey Jude, can we? I have an idea of this we can do. How about we do this? Or hey, here's an idea, or here's some value. The one thing I think that people really should do is invest in adding value. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so afraid of being used, right? Like that's the stigma. Oh, I don't want to do that. He's trying to use me, or this, that, the other. But check it. If you can't be used, you're useless. You know what I'm saying? So you have to add value. You have to be of service. You have to be someone that can be used. You know, and not in a negative connotation, but if you're just there taking space and I can't use you, it's just like you're useless.
Yeah, and that makes sense with everything you do in life. And I was listening to an interview that you did, and you was like that it's only business when both people are benefiting. Exactly. Right? And that makes so much sense because sometimes people go into situations where it's only what's in it for them. You know, it's no return for the other person. And especially when somebody has a time that they need spending on something, I'm not going to just, you know, waste my time doing something, even if it's a good thing. Like my time is valuable. So that's a big thing. But when it comes to being consistent, right? Because a lot of people don't understand that. I hear a lot of no's, like, or not even a lot of no's, but it was a lot of times when you just try to reach out to somebody, they don't answer your DMs. And I could tell this story, right? So, Mr. Eric Thomas, right? I met him at an event, and at the event, we got connected, blah blah blah, and then he flew me out to go see him do an interview with Aaliyah Lodge, at their apartment in Atlanta. Then from there, Wall Street Trapper saw that I was in Atlanta. He DM'd me. The crazy part is I've been DMing Wall Street Trapper about 50 times before he ever DM'd me. And that was just crazy to me and put things in perspective and showed me that, like, when you're consistent with yourself, when you show up every day, no matter how many times not that he was denying me, but how many times you don't get answers, like after one answer, people be like, oh, I'm not, doing something like that, pride, right? So how important is it to be consistent for you? And how many times have you heard like a no or things didn't work out for you that you was like, yeah, like it gave you fire to keep going?
You know, it's just the nature of the beast, right? True story. When you came out to the Black Money Forum, it was lit. It was crazy, right? Do you know that the first few people that I reached out to told me no? Right? Like there's a couple of people that I reached out to that didn't know me. So I reached out to them and it was like, nah, I'm good. But then when the thing started blowing up and started getting momentum, those same people hit me up like, hey, what's going on? Is there still a spot available? I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Our lineup is full, the XYZ. But I get it. Like people are busy, people have lives and stuff like that. And it's super important that you don't take it personal, because sometimes it has nothing to do with you personally, but it's just that people are just so caught up in their lives, and truth be told, like I was supposed to leave to go to DC last night, right? But and I part of me wanted to reschedule this interview, but I'm just like, yo, you know how consistent she's been. She's come to the bank. She's come to the forum. I saw her, and she was willing to help me move my car. You know what I'm saying? I said,
Thank you.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I was just like, hey, let's push this as early as possible, so that we can so that I could at least leave here and get on the road. But you did your part, so now I have to do my part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like you showed up, you're at the bank, you're consistent. You know what I'm saying? You have your book, and you're about it. You know, this is not a hobby. This is not a hobby for you. This is not a pastime. This is a life that you chose. So with that being said, when people see that you're really about it, and that it's real, they're gonna respect you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what's crazy? How with my consistency and how I always show for things, sometimes there's people who I have in my corner that they start like latching off because and I'm asking you this, like, is that something that you notice? Like when you pushing and you doing things and you telling your friends like, oh yeah, let's go this, let's go that, like let's do this, you know, you still gotta show up even if somebody isn't paying attention, like they're gonna notice you, right? Did you have people or do you have people who are like they start to just remove themselves because people see results, but they're not seeing that I'm showing up to the Brooklyn Bank. I'm showing up to the forums. I'm doing the work.
Nah. It's like at the end of the day, like life is just like school, right? You got you got you, most people are C students. You know what I'm saying? They chill in the middle of the class. You know what I'm saying? They do their homework and so forth. Then you got the cats. You got the few cats that's in the back, all the way in the back. You know, getting the D's and the F's, sleeping and chilling, not trying to hear it. And then you got the few people. You got the few people up front, the A students, right? That's they're like they got the book. They did their homework. This, that, the other. But the majority of the people are the C students. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just how C is average. You know what I'm saying? So average people get average people do average things and get average results. So if you want to be an A student and you want to align yourself with other A students, that's what you do. But you can't, you know what I'm saying? You could be cool with the dudes getting C's and D's, right? But you can't do the same stuff with them that you would want to do with A students. You know what I'm saying? And for sure, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go to the back of the class with the D students so you can fit in with them. Like either the D students are gonna come up to the front, or I just have to catch you later.
Yeah.
I catch you outside. I catch you on the bus.
Yeah. That's crazy. When growing up, like I kind of always knew I've been different, but sometimes you have that, like you grow up in public schools and it's just like fitting in, right? Like I just wanted to fit in, right? But I kind of knew I was different. Like I wasn't into what everybody was into, but then I just did things because I wanted to fit in. But it wasn't until like really the pandemic when I like tapped into my difference and I noticed that what makes me different is what's gonna make me blow up. Like what makes me different is what's gonna make me impact lives. So like anybody watching this, I want y'all to be comfortable being different, right? Do it alone. This time I went to InvestFest all by myself. Like travel all the way to Atlanta. I told people come, but people not gonna show up, right? So does that mean like I don't go, right? So it's just like you got to be comfortable being different, right? And don't settle for average just because everybody else is average, right? Sometimes you gotta, if everybody wearing blue, it's okay if you wearing orange, right? So just be different. So now let's tap into the real estate side. So I'm 19. By the time I graduate, I'm ready to get my first property. Help, like where do I start? Where do we go?
Well, first thing that you got to start doing is make sure that your credit is tight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like so many times people go into schools and they get caught up with the student loans. They get caught up with the credit cards and all that other stuff. Like since you're focused on a goal, you have to be focused all the way. I would strongly suggest that you acquire a couple of credit cards and that you are consistent in paying them. I don't know if you're driving or not. If you know, like if you get a car loan, maybe even if you're buying a hoopty, you know what I'm saying, get a very small car loan so that you have a track record of not just credit card, but now you have 3 different types of credit. You have, I don't know if you have student loans or not, but you have student loans that you're paying. You have a car loan that you're paying, and you have a credit card that you're paying. So you'll have 3 different types of credit, right? And what I would also suggest is that you get signed on to one of your parents' cards. So your credit goes that way. Now you need to start saving your bank. So what you do now is you like while you're working, you're putting money into the stock market, you're putting money into your savings, you're putting money into crypto, you're putting money into appreciating assets, so that 3 years, 2 years from now, when you're ready to take money to put a down payment, you'll have credit and you'll have a down payment.
Okay.
And then I would tell you to start looking. I would tell you to start looking for I don't know where do you go to school again?
Virginia.
Yeah. If you could get a property like by your senior year.
So I was about to say, I am in my senior year now.
Oh.
So do I so this is a problem like that I've been running into. So do I put the money that I'm saving into the stock market, into like kind of like low risk funds, so that it could move until like I'm ready to actually buy the property, because I have like about like 10 months? Or should I just stack the...
Well, it's very, like right now, the stock market is a very volatile place, and I think stocks are something that you play with long term.
Yes.
So like when you're buying stocks, it should be over a very long horizon. I would personally not, like if I were you and I needed to buy a property 10 months from now, I would not put it in the stock market, because there's a risk that when you need it,
it will be down.
It could be down.
Yes.
Stocks are typically stuff that an investment, a long-term investment. So with that being said, I would just stack my money. I would, not just work, but, all your little side hustles, stack all that bread, and then start looking for a property, maybe even by your school.
Yes.
That you could rent out to other students. Find something that is at most 70% of the average value. So meaning if most of the properties in the neighborhood go for 100,000, that means you would want to buy the property for about 70,000. Right.
So how do you find that good deal?
You find that good deal by keeping your ear to the street, talking to all the realtors, the same way you found me. Like, hey, what's good? This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Give me a call. By scouring the internet, by going on sites like auction.com, just being about it, being diligent, talking to the people in the neighborhood of where you want to be, putting signs up, cold calling, talking to wholesalers. So it's a process, but at the end of the day, you put the work in. You put the work in, you get results back.
So I know everything varies, but how long does it usually take you to acquire a property and like get the deal, like turn it around? Like,
well, one of the big, again, I'm gonna go off on a tangent real quick. One of the things that I always tell people is, don't waste time looking for deals, right? Spend your time finding a system or a referral source that will bring you deals. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't necessarily need to find a deal. You need to find someone who brings you deals. You know what I'm saying? Because if you find a deal, you're only finding one deal. If you find somebody who can bring you deals, you're finding deals. Just the same with money, right? Like you don't look for money for one deal. You look for a money source that can continually bring you money to acquire to buy properties.
So I've been hearing this thing that when you're buying a property, it's good to like have an LLC and buy with that. Is that like your method that you use? And
I use that sometimes. It gives you anonymity, and there are certain times that it works. to get the best benefit, right? Especially your first time around, it would probably be through a program like a FHA where you put in like a 3% or 5% down, right? Those deals typically require you to personal guarantee and to live in and stuff like that, and to get the best financing option, you would probably have to put that in your name. So there's no answer that's like 100%. This is the best way to do it. It's like you have to look at your personal situation and analyze it and see where it fits in to your personal financial need at the moment.
Okay, so now we're gonna take a turn, right? We're still talking about real estate, but why ownership, right? Why ownership versus renting? Like, a lot of people are like, I could rent. I only have $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Why ownership?
Like if that's what you choose, you know what I'm saying? Remember what I said. There's the people in the front of the class, the majority of people in the middle of the class, the C students, and the people in the back of the class. Like, if you want to be an A student at this game of life, if you want to acquire wealth, if you want to have things to pass down to your children, if you want to make the most out of it, you're going to make the personal sacrifices to get things in place, right? Like the space that I told you that fell apart for me when I had Loft 676, I rented that building. I rented that building, and when things got bad, the ownership threw me out the building. You know what I'm saying? I got evicted, XYZ. Like, you can't evict me out the Brooklyn Bank because I own that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, at all my buildings, I own that. So those are properties that I'm gonna pass on to the next generation. So you can't do that with rent, and you get nothing for your rent. You pay your rent and it's gone. Like when you own property, there's so many. You get tax deductions. You get you get you know what I'm saying. You get the debt depreciation. You get the you get tax deduction. You get the appreciating asset. So it's just like so many benefits.
Okay, so. All right, so you're the mastermind behind the Brooklyn Bank. So what is the Brooklyn Bank? It's super, super dope, right on Marcus Garvey and Decal. Every time I pass it, the nice Jay-Z mural, right? So what was the thought behind that?
All right, so first of all, I gotta explain what the Brooklyn Bank is. Everybody thinks the Brooklyn Bank is a building or stuff like that. The Brooklyn Bank is not a building, right? The Brooklyn Bank is a community. We're a nonprofit organization of like-minded people trying to educate Black and Brown people about the importance of wealth building, and change their views on financial freedom. Right? So that's the Brooklyn Bank. The mindset behind that was all the mistakes that I made, on my financial journey. I've lost money. Like, I've been broke like 3 different times. Like, I've made money and I lost it all. Made money, lost it all. Because I've always had the hustler spirit in me, but I didn't have any direction. So like, I basically had to learn everything the hard way, and it's wrong. And we as a people, because I love my Black people, we as a people, we cannot get ahead that way. So I felt that it was important for me to form this community where like-minded people could come together and kind of change the narrative about wealth, change the narrative about financial freedom, change the narrative about assets. Like there's a lot of and there's a lot of information out there currently, but sometimes the information could be a little bit pricey. So I wanted to give the information to people who just don't have it, to go get it.
I can say I have a lot of results from the summer classes, summer school series you were doing. I definitely learned a lot about credit, and just financial literacy in general. I made a lot of connections. Here's a testimonial for you, right? And you could clip this. I basically met someone. I think he's on your team, Mr. Carl. he works in the schools.
Yes.
Right. I met him at the Brooklyn Bank, and I actually ended up working with him. And going into his school and teaching financial literacy in there. So that was a great connection that we made. I was actually on the phone with him earlier, and it's just crazy when you go to these networking events and you create spaces like this for people just like myself and others, where you could go in, you could talk to people who are like minded, because we're all in there for one common goal. So that's super.
Yeah.
dope.
Everybody in that building, when we have these events, are there to better themselves financially. And I always tell people, hey, it's great at the end of the event that everybody wants to talk to the person who was speaking and stuff like that. But if you look to your left and you look to your right, you have people right there who want to do the same things that you're trying to do. So it would behoove you to not align yourself with these people.
Yes, I agree. I dragged my friends there, right? I dragged so many people there, and I think just the importance of just being in the right rooms, being in the right places, and that's super super dope. So now you spoke on how you've been broke many times and you got it back, right? So do you believe broke is a mindset?
You're absolutely right, and I should not have used. I've lost money. I should not say broke, because I've never been broken. Even in the darkest days, I sat there and I was just like, all right, how am I gonna come back? And thank you for clearing that up. So many times we, as a people, start to believe that our current situation is our permanent situation, and life is long. And it's super important that when you're in a temporary hardship, you remember that tough times don't last. Tough people do. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what the situation is, whether it is like a new beginning, or a hardship along the way, or something that was not anticipated, the ability to stop, think, regroup, refocus, re-strategize, pivot. How do I get to the next step? I don't know if you ever done rock climbing?
Not in its
Yeah.
up a mountain.
Nah. But they got these
regular, the wall one, yeah.
Yeah. So recently I did it for the very first time, and it's ill, because what I'm saying, you're looking around and you're trying to get your footing, and then you might slip and go back down, but then you gotta go back up, and you learn, what I'm saying, if you made it this far before you fell, the next time that you're gonna make it this up to this super easy, and then you go up to this level, and then you might fall back a little, and eventually you get to the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the trick is to learn. The trick is to not be broken. You know what I'm saying? The trick is to understand that it's just par for the course.
Yeah, that's a major gem. So I follow you on Instagram, right?
Okay.
And you post gems every day, but your way of posting content is really really different, and I admire it, because it's really you just post content based off of things you go through daily, and every day we go through things, and we either have issues or we have success stories that day, and you post everything. What was your mindset behind that, and what made you want to post your shortcomings, your successes, and stuff like that?
Because it's real, just keep it real. Funny enough, I'm a lot older than a lot of the influencers that are out there. And I've experienced.
Look young.
Yeah. I've experienced a lot of things, and I've learned from every one of them. So it's super important that you are able to be aware, right? To get a lesson out of everything. Walking in here, so, as long as you pay attention, you're gonna come out with something. I walked into the studio today, and there are certain things that I saw, and I was just like, oh, this is how this is done. This is how this is done. I never knew this before, and just by observing certain things, and I'm able to adjust my thinking and propel myself a little further.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, like if I just share these things, maybe somebody else does not have to like go through the same hardships that I went through, because hey, I laid it out for them.
Yeah.
And it might spark something inside of them.
Yeah, definitely. You sparked a lot of things inside. There was a post you made, and you had I think you had a car in the background. It was like, I forgot what type of car. It was some luxury car, and you was like, oh, this behind me is mine. But you was really taking a picture of the house, and you was like, wait, no, I'm talking about the house though. And that right there was like a major gym, and then you had like a story behind it, and I thought that was like really, really cool.
Yeah, you know. Oh, with the Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I had a picture with the Rolls Royce, but it's just like, yo, nah, this ain't my Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
This is my building.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like, it's more important to me to have the real something that, like, a Rolls Royce is cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not knocking anybody who wants one, who likes one, and stuff like that. It's cool, but it doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what does it for me is being able to wake up whenever I want to wake up. Is able to being able to travel, being able to help my family, being able to to have the time and the resources to have something like the Brooklyn Bank.
Yeah.
You know, like if I was struggling day to day, there'd be no Brooklyn Bank.
Yeah.
Because I'd be in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I could take my extra resources, my extra time, and my extra financial resources, and get a Benz.
Mm-hmm.
Not a Benz, get a Rolls Royce, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could have bought a Rolls Royce instead of buying the Brooklyn Bank.
Yeah, that's a major gem. You know, it was crazy. Even when we had that encounter the other day, it put things in perspective, because you're a wealthy man, right? And the car you were driving, and I was just like, I see a lot of people who making not even nowhere near driving way better cars, and that just put a lot of things in perspective, because a lot of people look like money. Instead of actually doing things that sets other people up for freedom, doing things that adds value to people, which is nothing wrong. But I always notice that, like, the ones who are really winning, you wouldn't know, right? They don't care to show it off, right? And things happen in stages, because I'm pretty sure you probably went through a phase
of course.
But like, how does that mindset change look like? Like, what's the
I was driving. You saw the car that I was driving,
Mm-hmm.
but you saw the block that it was parked on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's value. It's your value system. True story. The last story before, because I know you got to wrap up soon. I used to have a convertible Benz, right? I used to live in Rosedale, Queens, and my mom's used to live in Springfield Gardens. And every time I drove by, I saw a guy who had the same car as me parked in front of Rochdale. Rochdale is a cooperative building, and one day I'm at the light. I had my top up. No, my top was up. Windows up, air conditioning, and here comes this dude with the same car as me, bumping. Like the music was bumping, bumping. And he's like, roll your window down. So I roll my window down, and he looks at he had, and I, he had his girl in the car, and he looks at my car, and he's like, yo, that's nice, yo, dude, where your rims at? Right? So I looked at him, looked at his car, and I was like, yo, dude, where your garage at? You know what I'm saying? Because I park my car in the garage every night of my house. You're parking your car on the street. I see your car on the street. But your value system is different. You got rims. You know what I'm saying? You got a Benz with rims on it, but you parking it in the street.
Wow, that's
So it's the mentality.
Yeah.
Like I have a Benz with no rims, but it's parked in my garage. So it's super important.
Drives the same.
It drives the same. But it's very important that we change our mindset to understand, and and live, what they say, no cap. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
too much cap.
Too much, too much cap.
There's too much cap out there.
Yeah.
Like, have real, like, don't do things before it's time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get a Rolex watch just so you can look at your watch and say, "Oh, it's time for me to go to work," and punch in the clock.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a major gem, right? That reminded me of when Jay-Z, he had the song. He was like, he pulled up next to him, asked me how much my car is. Yeah, that reminded me of that. So we're gonna end this off like this, right? So I like to put the hip hop behind financial literacy, revolutionize it, make it look cool. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite rap lyric about money?
So we're gonna keep it Jay-Z. We're gonna
my favorite rapper.
We're gonna keep it Jay-Z. We're gonna do Diamonds, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that whole verse. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Let me handle my business, damn. Yeah. And that whole verse, you know what I'm saying? He just destroyed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was so many gems on that. Yeah. So that would be it. Yeah, that's a major one. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that like Jay-Z really been giving us the keys to life and the keys to building wealth as he was building wealth. Exactly. And that's crazy, right? So we wrapping it up. This is our first episode of the Young and Dumb podcast. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Mr. Jude Bernard for coming on the platform. I appreciate you. And where can people find you? I'm on the gram, Mr. Jude Bernard, JudeBernard.com and all that good stuff. Yes, and make sure y'all follow the Brooklyn Bank too. Thank you. All right, peace.